bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. You may have realized that lately I've been asking you guys to pray to the God of Peter Dislike, and the Peter Dislike prayer has brought good luck for unexplained reasons a number of times in my life, and that's why I like it so much. My most prominent of example of where Peter Dislike prayers worked was at the solar eclipse in April of this year. I was in Kerrville, Texas, viewing the solar eclipse. It was cloudy, and I asked everybody around me to pray to Peter Dislike, and I explained how I had a YouTube channel and how I was upset at people leaving dislikes, and so I started asking for them, and that's when the channel kind of turned around. So I asked everybody around to look into the sky and sing Peter Dislike and wave their finger. And all told, about 20 of us sang Peter Dislike. Unfortunately, it was kind of off key. All you could hear was a bunch of bums in all sorts of keys. And then everybody shouted, "The Peter Dislike Show." It was kind of like "Let's Go Brandon." It kind of had that vibe to it. And we all waved to the sky. And sure enough, totality came and the clouds disappeared for a couple seconds. And we got a few good photos. So that was good. I had another upset that Peter Dislike really helped. I have a lot of difficulty with different meetup groups that I go to. Phoenix is very big geographically. Oftentimes, just going to a meetup group requires a huge time commitment, right? Sometimes I drive an hour each way, and then I go there and people don't show. And one day, as I had gone to three different meetups, I couldn't find anybody there. The locations were awkward. The badly described. I would go there. I didn't know who was in our group and everything. And on the very fourth one, on my way there, I was so upset that I was getting into road rage and I was waving dislikes at people and singing the Peter Dislike Show. This was around late September. Weather was starting to get nicer. People were opening their windows, and I was singing Peter Dislike at other people in traffic. And I got to the meetup, and I had a good conversation with a girl there, so that was good. And so, but Peter Dislike isn't the first religion I ever invented. 4 years ago, there was this push that we needed to get this poison injected up our arms in order to go out in public. I hate to say what it is because I don't want people to recognize that I didn't get it. But I was living in Seattle, Washington. For a time, King County was the only county that required proof of it just to go out to a restaurant, to a movie theater. But they had a religious exemption. And so I wrote up a funny exemption. At the same time, around the same time, I was grappling with another problem. At my workplace, a lot of people were dealing with family matters, and I often filled in for them. And I didn't get a whole lot of respect because I was single. I was one of the few people who was single amongst our team. And I often showed up at odd hours, and oftentimes last minute. My biggest upset was one time we were working remotely, and one day Wi-Fi wasn't working for some reason. I took my laptop and I literally wandered around town. You got to remember, this was like summer 2020. Starbucks wasn't open to the public just yet. And I took my laptop wandering around looking for somewhere with both the electricity and Wi-Fi, right? And meanwhile, my colleagues are taking off just for silly things. Maybe not so silly, but they were taking off left and right, and I was often filling in, even when I had to. I learned it's called war driving, when you take your computer and you start looking for Wi-Fi all around town. It's called war driving, apparently. And I was upset about that. So I created a religion. I called it SOM, for Single Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter was really big that year, but I felt discriminated against for being single. So I called the religion SOM. And I wrote a religious exemption saying that I am against anything that is discovered by or advocated by anybody in an artificial marriage. And because Tony Fauci is happily married, and a few other key characters in the whole thing were married. Jay Inslee was the one requiring it. He was married, and so I'm against it. And what's really funny was that I had a few restaurants I was already frequenting, and he said they knew that I wasn't a government auditor or anything like that. And one later, after I showed him that, he said, he asked me if it would be a problem if the person serving me were married, and I told him it's okay. I'll overlook that for the moment. I just want to eat here, and so it was kind of funny how he went along with it. And so my dream is to someday invent some kind of religion that people will follow long after I'm gone. And I think dislikes kind of fit that bill, because the whole point of praying to Peter Dislike is to dislodge all the dislikes from your life, right? And also, the reason I ask for dislikes is that when good people start leaving dislikes, it makes it impossible to identify how many people genuinely dislike your videos, right? So I guess that concept can also apply in real life. This is the Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum.